Hi guys, over the last sort of 6 months we've been putting videos on, and some of them we used on this counter where we were planting seeds up and things like that. And a number of you have asked us, what's in this container back here? And originally when we were doing it, there was only a small glass, but it's just been moved to this container. Guys, this is what's known as kombucha. I just thought I'd do a quick video on it for you guys, for those of you who don't know what it is. We're going to go through some stuff. I'm going to leave that there, and I'm just going to have a chat with you about some things. Just check that everything's okay. But what kombucha is, it's a fermented tea, okay? And the good thing about it, the ancient Chinese used to drink it as an elixir of life. It's reported that it has amazing benefits, health benefits, because of the probiotic and the antioxidants and things like that. They're all sort of cancer fighting agents and what have you. Now, we've been brewing kombucha for quite some time, and if you go to a health shop, you'll see this in a health shop. It's quite an expensive product. It doesn't look this dark. This is just what's known as my SCOBY hotel, and I'll explain a bit about that in a moment. Anyway, the kombucha doesn't look this colour when it's finished. The original colour of the kombucha is this. So you can see the difference that it changes to, okay? And over time it will go fizzy. Now we store this in the fridge, and we drink it, and it's really good for health reasons. Give you some sort of examples on that. It's full of probiotics, natural enzymes and things like that, and what this does, it detoxifies the body, okay, and it allows the sort of fluids in the body to get back into balance, and it boosts the immune system. So all that being said, the body is then able to take care of itself, and people are having some really good health benefits with it. It has, because of the detoxifying side of the product, okay, it helps keep liver healthy. It aids in the fight off of cancers and things like that, you know, for prevention and what have you. It aids digestion and gut health, and it contains glucosamines, which they're a very strong preventative of arthritis, and can also help aid arthritis for people who are suffering from it. Now, when we make kombucha, it can be made in various sort of containers. It can be a glass jar, it can be food grade plastic, it can be, you know, in a ceramic bowl, and there are even special kombucha pots you can buy for that. Some people may have heard about kombucha before, and you ask how it's made. Well, it's basically broken down. It's a very sweet tea. Mainly green or black tea, or a mixture of both are used, okay? And then you have what's known as a SCOBY. Now, some people may have heard it being referred to as a mushroom, and I'm actually going to show you one of those. A SCOBY mushroom, or sorry, a SCOBY I should say. They can come in any size. Basically, they grow to the shape of your jar. Now, these were ones, these smaller ones, that were in the glass beforehand, and then I put those into this jar, and it produced a bigger one. Every time it ferments, it will produce a new SCOBY, okay? Now, what the SCOBY basically is, okay, it's called a SCOBY for a reason, which basically it stands for a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, okay? And it's this SCOBY that puts all of the good enzymes and things into the actual tea. Now, as you can see from this bottle, it looks nothing like tea, and it looks more like some sort of juice you would buy in a shop. Give you some sort of an idea. A bottle half that size in a health store would cost you around about £5 or £6. It's not cheap stuff, but you can make it at home really, really cheap. All you actually need is a SCOBY, okay? Now, some people like the taste of the original. It's a little bit acidic, but some people like the taste, and I love the taste of it. My partner, however, doesn't. But you can make it out of fruit teas if you want to, green fruit teas, or the way we do it, and use a different one, okay, the way we do it is we add fruit juice. So we add about 1/10 of fruit juice to the actual finished product, and that flavours to whatever fruit juice you put in. And we've made peach, we've made blackcurrant, we've made all sorts, orange, apple, and they are really, really good. You can always tell a good SCOBY by the thickness, okay? If you look at the thickness on these, they're good quality SCOBYs. Now, each of them, if I was just to put that in this tea, would do the job. You only need a very small piece, and by the time that this brew is done, you would have a brand new SCOBY on the top, the size of the diameter of whatever jar you have it in. This is only my SCOBY hotel. We don't actually drink the tea out of this because we can't produce it quick enough in that jar. And what I mean by a SCOBY hotel is it's somewhere that you keep sweetened tea, usually in the fridge, but we're not doing it in the fridge. We just got it on the side of the counter, and they seem to keep well. And basically any spare SCOBYs you have, you place in this sweetened tea and you just leave them sit there. It doesn't matter how vinegary the kombucha goes, because you're not going to use it to drink. However, it's very good for starting a new culture if you need to, and things like that. We've spoken about some of the benefits, and there are millions of others. Some people who that I know use it, who have skin conditions like psoriasis and eczema, actually blend up the spare SCOBYs. So instead of having a SCOBY hotel, they would take these SCOBYs and they would put them into a food process, and they'd blend them into a pulp, and they'd smear that over their eczema or their psoriasis, and that would help with the eczema and psoriasis and things like this. But like any other product out there, there are pros and cons. There are a few side effects to kombucha tea, and it's initially when you first start drinking it. Because it's a very strong detoxifier, you may find that when you're taking it, if you drink too much of it, you'll get some stomach cramps and things like that. What that's basically telling you is it's working. However, the way to alleviate that is to drink plenty of water so you can flush it through, and that's the whole idea behind this anyway. You drink lots and lots of water, but you drink the you drink the kombucha tea as well. It was said that it was very bad luck to sell the SCOBYs and what have you. However, I have seen them up for sale. But generally they're given to people. You may have to pay for the postage or whatever the case, but people will wrap them and what have you. To make this sort of tea, okay, how you would go about it, you get yourself a big ceramic bowl or something like that, okay, and you'd get 4 litres of water, okay. Now this water must be distilled water, or it must be boiled water and allowed to cool. Yeah. To that we would add 6 green or black tea bags, or a mixture of both. Okay. What I tend to do, I take a litre of that 4 litres and I make a hot tea. Okay. And I chuck all the tea bags in that 1 litre and I stir it up, and then I leave it to stand until it goes cold. Then I take the tea bags out. Okay. While that tea is hot, I then put 340 grams of of granulated sugar in. So what this will do, it'll allow the sugar to dissolve into the hot liquid, and then from that point we add 400 ml of the kombucha. So basically we would add 400 ml of this to that water, which would kick start the whole process. For some of you guys who would ever first get a kombucha, or a SCOBY I should say, sorry, you're not going to have that starter tea. What you can do if that's the case is add a vinegar, a distilled vinegar, okay, such as white vinegar, apple cider, apple cider vinegar or white wine vinegar, something like that, but it must be distilled, okay? Any of these other ones that are boiled or whatever the case being, we don't want those, we just want distilled vinegar, okay? And then you add 4 tablespoons of that in place of the 400 ml of the kombucha tea, alright? I will put, while I'm talking about this, there'll be a small slide that you'll see that recipe on. Now that's a basic recipe. You leave your kombucha tea then, and what you do every now and then is, once the new SCOBY is formed, you taste the actual tea itself, and if it tastes sweet and it's got a lighter colour like here, okay, and it tastes sweet, it's still not done, okay? It should taste slightly acidic, and at that point you know then that that your tea is done, and then you can bottle it. So whether you bottle it normally like here, or whether you bottle it like a fruit juice like here, or whether you make it with a fruit tea, that's completely up to yourself. No metal or steel utensils. The only thing you can use are stainless steel, okay, because that'll have an effect on the SCOBY. Other than that, guys, I just thought I'd explain what it is to you, how you go about making it. Like I said, we don't make ours in this because it's too small for what we use. We use a wine barrel, and we make about 45 litres at a time, and we bottle it. It then gets put somewhere nice and cool, and as we need it, then it goes into the fridge. What you will find, one thing I want to say, as you can see, this one's quite clear at the moment. It does, I don't know if you can hear this, see it does get a little bit fizzy. I'll actually pour some out into a glass for you now. If you just, give me a second. So, obviously you can't smell or anything, but it is slightly fizzy if you can hear it. And, it's quite a nice tasting drink. But what you will find in these bottles as they're settling, not so much in the fridge, but it will happen, is that you'll start getting some yeast and things forming inside the bottle. Now, that's totally natural and it's supposed to happen, okay? Basically, that's trying to create a new SCOBY. But all you do when you put it into a bottle, or when you know you're going to start drinking it, is filter it through a muslin cloth and rebottle it, and I'll take out any of that muck. You may see some, I don't know if you're going to pick up on it, but there is some darker, I don't know if I can pull this one up and show you actually. Bear me a moment. No. You may be able to pick up some darker bits in this kombucha tea. Okay, that's basically just yeast starting to form. That's totally natural, don't worry about it. And that's what's supposed to happen. When it comes to bottling this up, or whatever the case being, we then put it through a muslin cloth that takes all of that out, and you're left with a nice clear, if I just take that one out a moment. You're left with a nice clear lager colour, I suppose you could say, or white wine colour liquid. You might be able to see the bubbles in it, and it is really pleasant drink, but it's giving all those health benefits. And for those of you who are looking after your health, or got certain ailments or anything that you want to try, I really suggest giving it a go, guys. I'm more than happy to supply anybody who wants a SCOBY. Obviously they'll have to help out with the postage or whatever the case being, but I've got no problem, if I've got spare SCOBYs, sending you guys SCOBYs if that's what you want to try. Anyway, that's it for this video, and hope it was of interest. Thanks, guys.